Morning punters, happy Friday. Golden Slipper Day tomorrow. Wow, it's open. Certainly haven't got a dominant 2-year-old before the race anyway. Something might emerge. You know, like a dance hero or a capitalist. Sepoy. None of those. So who's going to emerge? So because it's so open, I'm going to take a lotto style trifecta. And of course the difference between lotto, poker machines, other form of gaming is that it's mindless and completely random. And of course with wagering, with racing, you can use your brains before the race to come up with an opinion. It's not just numbers and names, it can be. Good luck to you, take it however you like. So I'm going to take a 6-box trifecta. Could be completely wrong. It's $5 a field for a reason. And I'm going to leave out the favourite, Cheyenne, who of course can win. I won't be head wobbling afterwards, but what I will do is if I get it, half for me, half for Equine Pathways Australia for a bit of karma bus. So it's $60 for 50% outlay. Copy, ignore, do whatever you like, spend your own money however you want. This is what I'm going to do. So, done some historics. I'm contradicting myself because over the journey I often say that historics are a bit overrated. I do think they are overrated with racing. But at least with the Golden Slipper, what do you have every year? You know, field of 16, usually. And 2-year-olds trying 1200, often for the first time. And often a big field 1200 for the first time. In other words, they just go like mad. Then they all get really tired because they're only 2-year-olds. So, often the Sydney horses are superior to the Melbourne horses. That isn't the case this year. So my starting point is, really respect the Blue Diamond form. There's 5 horses from the Blue Diamond, 2 are fillies. I'm leaving them out. Can they quinelle it? Absolutely. On this basis, Streisand won the Blue Diamond, perfect grand final peak training and riding performance, Clinton McDonald and Jamie Mellon. Settled back first up, hit the line well, ran well in the prelude, and then peaked in its grand final. Generally, unless you're a freak, peak and peak again is very hard for a 2-year-old. I don't think she's a freak, so I'm leaving her out. Now Cheyenne's so interesting. Ran 7th at $17. Was the market that wrong? So the other 4 horses from the Blue Diamond all finished in front of her. She was $17. Zambali was $21. Streisand was $11-ish. And close to the free and Guest House second and third were about $4.50 and $4.75. And now Cheyenne's favourite. Why? Okay, well, why she's favourite, and of course when the information changes, so should your conclusion. But she was a pretty dominant winner at Randwick a fortnight ago. Excellent win. Off a softish tempo. Now, if she sits midfield again tomorrow, there's every chance, sitting in exactly the same position, that she'll have to be going 5 lengths faster. Can she cope? She might be able to. Very good trainers, the Archibalds. But I'm just saying, as favourite, there's one I'll leave out. So, was that her peak last start? Did she cope with the extra speed? Don't know. She might. She's $5. I'll leave her out. So the other 3 I definitely want in. Closer to free. That was just its second start. It's been well documented. Danny O'Brien bought it from the horse wash after a trial from a horse breaker that he uses that was happy to sell. Wins the prelude. Runs second the Blue Diamond. Excellent. Very good barrier trial since. It's on point. Wide draw I'll get to. Guest House didn't have a lot of luck. Jammed inside. Middle draw's perfect for it. It got bumped early in a prelude. What it showed when it won at Cranbourne on debut, and that was a city meeting transferred. So I'm pretty sure Tagaloa came through before it won a Blue Diamond, as in the Moonee Valley edition of it. It was a serious win. I think it's got a lot of talent, Guest House. So I'm trusting the SPs and the second and third from the Blue Diamond, and that they've still got peaks to come where Strides and possibly peaked. They're absolute locks. Sam Bailey's ran fourth, and then it was deep odds on, insane price at Flemington. Just failed to win the size produce. Now, two things about the size produce that day. One, it was definitely leader advantage, hence it just failed, and it just failed to pick up the $41 winner, who might be underrated. Actually ran second in the Barry trial to close to the free at Wodonga. But more significantly, it was a fast race. It was a fast tempo race. So now it goes from a fast 1400 back to Sydney to the Golden Slipper. That's going to be fast as well. But it has felt some stress of a 1400 race, back to 1200 and a cheap barrier. It's an absolute legendary jockey in Nashville Willa. So it's every chance it gets a 3-4 back defence run, not necessarily a fence or one off. And it's strong when others are weak. So I definitely want Sam Bailey's. So from the Blue Diamond, second, third, fourth. Close to free, guest house, Sam Bailey's. Paradoxium, there's two ways of looking at it. When he won his Wyong race, it was a Magic Millions qualifier. He was blistering, and he was rightfully made favourite for the Magic Millions. Setback doesn't run in it. So it's winning a fortnight back, same day as Cheyenne in the Colts division. It was modest time. Wasn't asked to do anything. Jogged for the first 800, dash home for 400. So, a very good argument to say it was like a fast barrier trial for it. There's no way it should be flat, and it can explode. Now, Paradoxium and close to the free, drawn wide. Again, I had a good look at the historics over the last decade. What you can't do when you're drawn wide is do nothing. You've got to be positive. Or make a big decision like they did on Fireburn. It was drawn wide, ducked back to the fence, and then made its run along the inside. But there have been wide drawn winners, like Kamichi. But they're very positive. They end up after 200 or 300 metres, they're in front. And then they get to the best lanes on straightening. So maybe both Paradoxium and close to the free get that run. I think at least one of them would. And they're going to give a big sight. Stretton Ruler ran second to Paradoxium. And he already qualified. His win at Rosehill over 1100 Blue Diamond Day was super. Often it's a sideways run in a Golden Slipper, leading in before exploding in a grand final. Definitely want Stretton Ruler. And Phil Stokes chose to not run it in the Blue Diamond and go straight to Sydney. He must have a lot of confidence that horse. And then the other one, it's a double figure odds, Spicy Miss. I think it's the one that just gets the perfect run. It was a nice win last start. And it's almost a traditional tick, 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 tick horse in that it had one start as a spring 2-year-old, spelled, sound first up second, better again in winning, and now it can explode. Right stable, Kieran Maher, right jockey, right barrier. And Craig Newitt hasn't been riding Group 1 winners, pretty sure it was a decent drought. But then he wins the Newmarket. Now he's got his tail up. Very aggressive rider, Craig Newitt. And he won't concede, but he won't. There's no incentive to be stupidly proactive. So by that I mean, it's second or third line with it. So I want to include Spicy.